Oh, Commissioner Pratt, you're muted.
Sorry, start again. Welcome. This is the January 18th special meeting of the North Shore Fire Department Board of Commissioners. And our first agenda item is roll call.
Great. Good evening, Commissioner Admin.
Here.
Commissioner Pratt.
Present.
Commissioner Byers.
Here.
Commissioner Webster is not available this evening. Commissioner Woolham.
Here.
Chief Morris.
Here.
Legal Counsel Matt Paxton.
Here.
Lake Forest Park City Council Member Philippa Cassover.
Here.
Kenmore Council Member Nigel Herbig. Don't believe I saw him on the participant list. And I'm Amy Oakley, Board Secretary.
Okay, thank you, Amy. Item number 2, public comment.
So we did not receive any advanced requests for public comment, but if anyone would like to make a public comment at this time, please raise your hand and you'll have 3 minutes to make your comment. And I'll also note that at 7 p.m. we will have a virtual open house where there can be additional public comments made. So
Okay.
I don't see any raised hands at this time.
All right, thank you. We'll move on. Item 3, approval of the agenda.
I'll move to approve the agenda.
I'll second that.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve the agenda as it stands. All in favor, please say aye.
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 And aye. Okay, it's unanimous. Okay, moving on. Items for board discussion. Item 4.1, conversation with local 2459. Do we have a representative interested in speaking?
Yes, hello, Commissioner Pratt. This is Jeremiah Ingersoll. I don't have anything to discuss tonight. I do want to say thanks again for keeping us on the agenda. I've missed the last couple of meetings. I have had people who sat in, but I just want to say welcome to Commissioner Woolham. And I will be on for the rest of the meeting. So if there are any questions or discussion items you need from us, I'll be on.
All right, thank you, President Ingersoll. Okay, item 4.2, report from the subcommittee on new commissioner training.
Sure.
I
Commissioner
believe that's
Woolham and
Commissioner
I worked
Admin.
on that. Yeah, Commissioner Woolham and I worked on that jointly. And Lisa, would you want me to report on it, or do you want to report on it? I can. Okay, Amy, can you share the document? So just while she's getting that pulled up, so essentially we had an existing new fire commissioner orientation checklist. And so Commissioner Woolham and I went over that together. And basically there's just some new things, some new fire commissioner training that takes place and other setup items. So we just essentially updated this document. Most of this is just updated links. Really the only item for discussion here, a couple items was, I guess the question would be, maybe we might want to have Matt Paxton chime in if the meeting with the legal counsel. Actually, why don't you scroll back up a little bit, Amy, and just see, maybe we can check in with Commissioner Woolham and Commissioner Byers just to see if how this is going and if they've had the opportunity to do some of this different training. I think I think Commissioner Wong, I think actually 3 of our commissioners may have attended that Fire Commission 101. And I don't know if they've already met with the fire chief or met with legal counsel.
Can you
I
guys?
have, oh, we did the 101 Board of Fire Commissioner training this last weekend. And it went through all the public disclosure stuff, the required trainings. I have not sat down with legal counsel yet. And I have met with Chief Morris.
And I have sat down with legal counsel, and I have also sat down with Chief Morris.
Okay. Awesome. Could you scroll down a little bit, Amy? So there's a couple other items. I don't know if this is something we previously had some kind of a IT training under required training. It says Norcom, IT news or orientation, email and SharePoint. And I don't know if that's something that we've had this time around, or have you guys gotten any sort of orientation on that one? No.
I did get, when they gave me my laptop and set up my email, I sat down and met with IT, and we kind of discussed just kind of the state of how things are currently at Station 51 and 57. So if that's what the training is, then I did get that.
Okay. Yeah, I think one thing that we've identified is that at some point in the future, and maybe we'll discuss this under our topic of kind of administrative items that need to continue on, we'll need to do something with regard to just our file management and how we access that. But sounds like as long as you have enough access for now, we've gone through that. I don't know if I saw that Zeb Middleton was on here. I didn't know if he wanted to comment at all on anything additionally with regard to training that he would recommend. Okay. Well, he can feel free to chime in if he feels it's pertinent. I guess the only other thing really to discuss would just be we had some discussion about a Robert's Rules of Order under recommended training that was suggested by our council member advisory members. And I just wanted to find out if the board feels that that would be worthwhile. Should I move forward and make contact with the person who provides that training, maybe schedule something like that a month or two out?
Commissioner Admin, I think that that would be valuable for us all. And I would appreciate it if you could make that contact and then get some dates that they're available, and then we can go from there.
Okay. And does anyone, legal counsel or anyone else have any other update, suggestions they would like to this document, or before we would just adopt this document?
Commissioner Admin, were there any substantive changes to the existing policy?
You mean this document here, or just?
Yes, this reflects.
This is really
Policy.
primarily just an update of our existing document with some updated links and a couple of additional trainings. So that's really all this reflects. It's not really substantial changes.
All right, thank you. Anything else, Commissioner Wong? No. Okay, thank you. Commissioner Admin?
Yep, I think that's all I have. I don't know if we need any kind of formal action to adopt it, or I mean, it's an updated document now, so I don't know that it's
Right, I guess that was my question about, was there any substantive changes, or just the minor minor revisions.
Yeah, I think it's pretty minor revisions.
Okay, let's entertain a motion to accept the changes to the existing policy.
I will second that.
Let's get the motion first. Sorry.
I'll make a motion that we adopt the new commissioner training as presented by admin and Lisa Woolen.
Now I'll second that.
Excellent, thank you. Okay, it's been moved and seconded to accept the changes to the commissioner onboarding policy. All in favor, please say aye.
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 And aye. That is unanimous. Thank you. Good work, you guys. All right. Item 4.3, report on the presentation made to the Kenmore City Council. So on Monday, the 10th, Commissioner Admin and myself give a brief presentation to the Kenmore City Council, just updating them on where we've come since the last time that we reported out in September. And it was very brief and just updated them on the public survey that we did, the response that we had to that public survey in delaying the decision-making process till the new board was seated. Gave them a brief overview on some of the substantive differences between the two contracts, and really had no input back from the Kenmore City Council other than for them to say they had confidence in us making a good decision. So that's kind of where that ended. Commissioner Admin, anything to add to that?
No, I think that pretty much summarizes it. It was just a brief update to them on where we are, where to find the information, and what the next steps are. So yeah, they didn't really have a lot of feedback.
Also, probably of note here is that we're scheduled to give that presentation to the Lake Forest Park City Council. And I believe that is on February 24th, or excuse me, January 24th. So I would like someone, another commissioner, to join me in that process. I was thinking that
We have to step out real quick, guys. I apologize. I'll try to get back as soon as I can.
Thanks, Commissioner Byers. Just to note, I guess that is upcoming on the 24th, and I will be joined by a second commissioner at that time.
Yeah,
I
we
would
have
be
that
happy
on
to.
our agenda.
I'm sorry, what was that?
We have a discussion of that meeting on our agenda under 4.5.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Okay. So moving on, item 4.4, discussion of King County Fire District 16 administrative activities not covered in the contract for services. And I had included the list created by former Commissioner Marin of some of the budget items and services that we would need to focus on that may not be covered by a contracting agency. So hopefully you guys have had an opportunity to review that. And is there any discussion or points that you'd like to make? I guess my assumption is that the contracting agency will help manage a bulk of this, but I would like to establish a subcommittee to help research and confirm what services they're going to be able to provide, and then we can move on from there in addressing the items that we'll need to manage ourselves. Anyone interested in being part of that subcommittee? Commissioner Woolen? Okay, that'd be great. Commissioner Admin, would you be willing to join her in that?
I guess the only question I have would be, when would we establish this subcommittee? And I don't want to run afoul of the remote interest issues that Matt Paxton has brought up. So if the contracting agency ends up being Shoreline and we're working on contract issues for Shoreline, I don't know if that would pose a problem to have one of us on that subcommittee. I don't know. Maybe Matt Paxton could just chime in on if he has any thoughts on that. If we're creating a potential problem by having Commissioner Woolen or myself on that subcommittee.
Do you want me to advise an open session, or should we go to executive session on this? How do you want me to proceed?
I'm comfortable. I don't see an issue with you advising here, unless
I would, unless you have a reason to recommend that it be covered in executive session, I think it'd be fine.
Well, I'm not sure exactly what the subcommittee would do, but it sounds like what you're talking about is exploring what the scope of work would be for the contract, whether it would include certain administrative tasks or not. That could relate to a contract with Shoreline or East Side for that matter. And so to the extent that it would apply to the Shoreline contract, there may be some remote interest there. And when there is a remote interest, you're not the interest, the commissioners with remote interest should not attempt to influence any board members. So I think on its face, probably not a violation of the remote interest here, but I could definitely see situations where there would be what could be seen as an attempt to influence. And so maybe it's better to have some of the other commissioners partake in that committee.
Okay, thanks for that advice. That's kind of what I was wondering about. So maybe it would be just to be on the safer side, just to make sure, there's no question about anything, that it would be better to have two other commissioners on that subcommittee.
Sure. So let's, I guess the concern is that we're now going to delay that decision till our next meeting. But I suppose that's fine. Be good to have some work done in the interim 2 weeks. Okay, well, we'll delay that decision, try to get Commissioner Byers and Commissioner Webster on board with that. So the list that Commissioner Marin had created was pretty exhaustive. After looking at that, Commissioner Woolen, Commissioner Admin, is there anything that you think that needs to be added to that?
I can share my screen. I can share the list if that's helpful.
Sure, thank you.
Yeah, I don't really have any detailed feedback on this myself. I would say, I think what would probably make sense would be, once we go through the process of selection of the contracting agency, that we have a conversation with that chief and or other staff members that would be working in that relationship, and just get their input on this process.
Yeah, I guess that's kind of my vision for that subcommittee would be twofold. One, working with the agency that we've identified to contract with, working through this list, finding out what services they can provide, and then what services we're going to need to provide for ourselves. And then second, reaching out to other fire districts who are in this same relationship. So Fire District 34, for example, who contracts with Redmond, Fire District 11, North Highline, who contracts with Burien, and then also Fire District 36, who contracts with Eastside Fire and Rescue, and just getting a sense of how they provide these services for themselves and what that looks like. Okay, so we'll identify those board members to be on that committee at our next meeting. Any other comments or questions for item 4.4? All right. Item 4.5, discussion of the January 24th meeting with Lake Forest Park City Council. As I've identified, I will be providing that presentation and would like another board member to join me. That will probably need to be Commissioner Byers or Commissioner Webster. Deputy Mayor Cassover, any thoughts or comments on our upcoming meeting?
Oh, thank you very much, Chair Pratt. We're looking forward to hosting you, and it will be necessary for us to have the names and emails of the two persons that will be you yourself and whoever will join you, because we will send you an invitation because it is a panelist type Zoom meeting. So you'll need your own each invitation to join that. And that is an hour-long meeting, and we've set aside the first 20-25 minutes of that meeting for you. So, and then we have some other business to conduct. So it is our committee of the whole. I'm actually no longer the deputy mayor in Lake Forest Park. My colleague, Councilmember French, is now deputy mayor, and he will be leading the meeting. So, but I will be there, and we'll look forward to having you.
All right, excellent, thank you. I'd also like to extend.
Oh, and it starts at 6. Did I say that? It starts at 6.
6 p.m. Okay, thank you. I also like to extend the invitation to Chief Morris to join us at that meeting if he's available.
That would be excellent. Maybe I could ask the board secretary to forward the 3 names to and emails to me, and I will make sure they get to the right person at the city to extend the invitations.
Excellent, thank you. Okay. Moving on, item number 5, board resolutions, which we currently have none.
Just one question. Who's the third? Who's going to present with you, Commissioner Pratt, at Lake Forest Park?
We haven't identified that
okay.
commissioner yet. It will likely be Commissioner Webster or Commissioner Byers.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, item number 6, our consent agenda.
I move to approve the consent agenda.
I will second that.
Excellent, thank you. It's been moved and seconded to accept the consent agenda as presented. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And aye. Passes unanimously. Okay, item 7, reports. 7.1, Fire Chief's report. Commissioner or Chief Morris.
Yeah, thank you, Commissioner Pratt. Good evening. Really, the only thing to add, Local 2459, President Ingersoll has reached out to myself and Summit Law to initiate effects bargaining as part of the contract for service. That's just a part of the process. We expected it, and glad that they've reached out and we're getting some dates down so we can keep things moving in a timely manner. So that's really the only other new item. If there's any questions, happy to entertain.
I do have some questions.
Yeah.
Amy, could you share the fire chief's report?
While Amy is sharing that, I'll let you know that our academy graduation set for this Thursday on the 20th is moved to virtual. So unfortunately, due to Omicron, it's going to be a virtual graduation and there won't be additional attendees, unfortunately.
All right, well, thanks. So I have a question. I was just looking at some of the different under operations meetings held. I just wonder if you could share with us some of the details. If there's anything that jumps out at any of those in particular, I was interested in item number 6. Just what was the outcome of that meeting at this point, or what's happening? But if there's anything you want to share about any of those other meetings as well, I'd be happy to have you share that.
Yeah, well, that is the biggest one, I would say. North King County Training Consortium Work Group, as you are aware, was formed by the 4 chiefs of the participating agencies in December. And we met last week, we being the deputy chiefs. And the work group, the purpose of the work group is to identify the potential issues for 2023 if all of Eastside Fire and Rescue and Kirkland are included in North King County Training Consortium. So there were a number of bulleted points brought to discuss things that curriculum that would be taught, if that would change at all. Scheduling is a big one. Training locations, because in essence, we're going to double the size of the participants in North King County Training Consortium, and obviously can't train 500 firefighters at Station 51. So locations, identifying possible locations is a big issue as well. As I mentioned, schedules. I would say those are the 2 biggest issues. But deputy chiefs discussed for a couple hours a lot of those issues. And then today was meeting number 2 that included labor, and we went through the same topics with them. And they identified some of their concerns as well. And in 2 weeks, I believe it's 2 weeks, the next meeting will include the training officers, and we'll go through those same items and they'll identify their greatest concerns. And then we'll circle back with the deputy chiefs, the training director, and the fire chiefs, and make some sort of decision of if this is doable for 2023 to include all of Eastside Fire as well as Kirkland. So the original request in the letter from Eastside Fire, from Chief Clark, was to include all of Eastside Fire, City of Kirkland, and agencies that currently run extensive automatic aid with Eastside Fire. So they stepped back from that, recognizing that could potentially be huge. And we're focusing just on Kirkland and just on Eastside Fire. So it appears that we're identifying the needs of both of those agencies, and if North King County Training Consortium can meet those needs or is willing to meet those needs. So both meetings were productive. No decisions have been made. We're just identifying issues at this point.
Okay. And Kirkland's participating in these meetings as well?
That's correct. Yeah.
Okay.
That's really the biggest highlight, unless you have additional questions.
Nope, that was my only other question out of your report.
Commissioner Admin, your volume is very low.
Sorry, I just said I don't have any additional questions.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, Chief Morris. Anything else to add?
That's it.
All right. Item 7.2, Commissioner reports.
No report from me.
Okay. Seeing none. 7.3, legal counsel report.
Nothing to report today.
Excellent. Okay, next item on our agenda, item 8, is an executive session. Board Secretary, if you could read the language to dismiss us into that, that'd be great.
And how long will this executive session be for?
Let's start with 15 minutes, please.
Okay, we are going to move into executive session for 15 minutes pursuant to RCW 42.30.1404 to discuss collective bargaining. Also pursuant to RCW 42.30.1101G to discuss the performance of an employee, and pursuant to RCW 42.30.1101I to discuss potential legal litigation with legal counsel. I will pause the recording, open a break room, and put everyone into the waiting room. It is 6:32, so we will return at 6:47. Thank you.
Okay, welcome back. That concludes our executive session, and it concludes the portion of our agenda where all of our regular business will be conducted. Our virtual open house is scheduled to start at 7 p.m. in approximately 12 minutes. So we'll take about a 10-minute break and reconvene approximately at 6:58 in order to start our virtual open house at 7 p.m. Thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is going to be the start of our virtual open house. And our goal here is to give as many stakeholders, citizens, city council members, members of Local 2459 an opportunity to give the board feedback. If you've been following along, it should be no surprise that the North Shore Fire District Board of Commissioners is intending to contract for service with another larger organization. We're looking at 2 contracts currently, one from Eastside Fire and Rescue and one from the Shoreline Fire Department. Both have their strengths and weaknesses, but both represent approximately $2 million per year in savings for the residents of Kenmore and Lake Forest Park, as well as maintaining or improving the current level of fire EMS education, prevention services for our community. The ground rules for this evening, in order to give as many people an opportunity to contribute as possible, we're going to set the time limit at 2 minutes per comment. And if we get to a point where we have no more comments or questions being submitted in the chat, we can come back around if there's people who have more to contribute than they had opportunity in that 2 minutes. They can have a second go. And we'll just, ideally, I'd like to have this done within an hour, but if there's still people clamoring to contribute, we'll continue on. Any questions or comments? Okay. Board Secretary Amy Oakley is going to be facilitating and monitoring the hands up and the questions in the chat. So, Amy?
Great. Well, if anyone would like to either turn their video on and raise their hand or use the icon to raise your hand, I also am watching the chat. So if you would rather put your question in the chat, I can read that aloud. But the floor is open.
to fill a little dead air time here, I will just provide a few more updates. The intention of this board is to make a decision on one of the two contracts proposals at our next regular meeting on February 1st. And then to ideally implement that contract by March 1st and no later than April 1st, the start of Q2, but ideally by March 1st.
Yeah, I don't know if it's worth doing, but maybe Amy, I don't know if you could share the North Shore website and just the contract for services page, but just so people know where they can go to look and see exactly what's happening, what the schedule is, and that sort of thing. We could just briefly go over that. So just to highlight for anybody who isn't already up to speed on this, we have this whole tab on our North Shore Fire Department website. So it outlines the process that we're going through under key dates. Could you open that one up, Amy? That's our current time frame that we're working through. So this is the, we're at the January 18th portion of this time frame, but you can see what's been done up to this point. So this is the actually second process that we've had of an open house. We just wanted to provide an additional opportunity for additional public feedback since we had extended our timeline from our original timeline. So the remaining process that we have is we have this open house this evening. We have a presentation to Lake Forest Park City Council on January 24th. We have a meeting on February 1st, a regular meeting to go through, synthesize all this input, formalize a contract agency recommendation, and then our target date to implement is on March 1st. So you could go ahead and close that one. Under FAQs, there's information about the rationale for the contract for service and examples. So that explains why we're doing what we're doing. And then anybody who wants to see the criteria that we're using, we have a section on criteria. So we, at our prior meeting, the board walked through those criteria and kind of gave their feedback on the different perspective on the criteria. And then further down in the website, we've got an opportunity for people to look at the actual proposals themselves, as well as clarifying information. And we have a section on independent analysis that's also talked about. We had a third-party financial analyst do a comparison of the proposals. So just want to make sure that everybody has all that information out there. So I think that's all I wanted to highlight, was just to make sure that everybody's aware where they can find the information. And also that this is not the only opportunity for input. If anybody wants to contact us under public input, there's a few different ways that people can reach us. They can reach out via our board secretary, or they can email any of the commissioners directly.
Maybe I'll just mention that the Board of Commissioners, there's a web page for the Board of Commissioners under About, and you can find all of the email addresses listed under each commissioner.
All right. Well, I think that's all the information I needed to share. Do we have any more, any input?
Okay, I'm going to choose to view this as a vote of trust in the work that we've done and the outreach we've done, and take it as good news. And unless we have anyone with a hand up or comment in the chat, I think we'll move on to item 10 and addressing upcoming board agenda items. Oh, we do have one hand up.
Hi, go ahead, Jeremiah.
Okay, thank you. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Great. Thank you, Jeremiah Ingersoll, Local 2459, current president. Just wanted to reiterate, thank you for the time that the commissioners have taken on this process. This is a huge decision that's coming forward. We've definitely made our statement clear that we feel the better route for the department, for the citizens, would be for us to go with Shoreline. There's a number of reasons. We've said them in the past, and the more we look into this, the more we strongly feel that would be the direction that the department should go. So again, thank you for the process, sticking to the process, and giving everybody the chance to speak on it. That's all I have. Thanks.
Thank you, President Ingersoll. Okay, anyone else? Going once, twice. Okay, thank you. And moving on to item 10, upcoming board agenda items. Setting a future agenda. I think the big one is under board discussion and possible action items is taking our votes on which of the two contracts we are deciding to move ahead with. And then our normal agenda items. The other commissioners have something to add?
There's
Board Secretary?
there's the one item that was put on hold from this meeting, which was a discussion of the administrative activities not specified in the contract for service, creating that
Yeah.
subcommittee.
Creating that subcommittee. Excellent. Thank you. Anything else? Okay. I would entertain a motion for adjournment.
To adjourn.
I'll second that.
All right, it's been moved and seconded. All in favor, please say aye.
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 And aye. All right, we are adjourned. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and see you all on February 1st.